I found her on Instagram.
I purchased him from a private seller who had an ad.
There was an ad through Google Ads. Looked like it was a farm with a couple of young couples that were breeding.
And then she posted a 1.5-year-old Pomsky that needed its forever home.
So we contacted the people and they were nice.
You know, she's USDA certified. I thought, oh, that must mean she has rules and standards.
They talked about how they ship dogs and that it was safe and the care that they took.
So we decided to go ahead and purchase her. And this is when things got kind of weird.
I was told he was potty trained, he was good with kids, well behaved, none of which was true.
She was so quiet and scared and would just crouch back away from us all the time.
He was just very lethargic, and probably within 5 minutes he threw up. At that point, I knew there was something wrong.
Her website, it says you're welcome to come pick up your puppy or they'll ship it. But it was clear in retrospect anyway, she did not want me to come get the dog at her farm. That's what she calls it. She calls it a farm. And I don't know what else they farm, but turns out she had a lot of puppies.
CAPS has been investigating online sellers since around 2010, but since that time, online puppy sales have really expanded and grown, and it became a very popular way to buy dogs during the pandemic.
You might be wondering, like, who does that? Who sells online? And the reality is most breeders.
They may sell directly through their website, or they may sell through a website that has hundreds of breeders. And there's also pet shops that will ship to you sight unseen.
Anywhere in the country, you can buy an 8-week-old puppy of any breed you can imagine, and they'll ship the puppy to you. Of course, there's problems with this.
Oftentimes, that puppy that you're seeing in that photograph may not be the puppy you end up getting. That could be a stock photo. It could be a puppy that was already sold, and you don't see what's behind it, which is the horrible puppy mill industry. You're not seeing the premises in which the puppies are being raised. You don't see the filth and the squalor and the mistreatment. You just see a cute puppy. You don't see the cruelty of the industry that's supporting the sale of that online puppy. We've had a lot of complaints from people who bought puppies online, and then the puppy is very sick.
He was shipped to me not well. He had Giardia and had been sick for a while.
And it's because these dogs are bred in puppy mills. They are prone to contagious diseases.
And the puppy seemed healthy. He gave me a shot record, which I found out later was falsified. He was fine the first night, running around like a normal puppy, but within the 24 hours, he just laid there. So the next day, I took him to the vet, and they tested him for parvo, and it was positive. And he was treated for 4 days and passed away.
We had a complaint where a woman went to the airport to pick up her puppy, and the puppy was going around the turnstile, and she opened the crate, and the dog was dead. The dog arrived dead.
My husband and I were like, oh, if we get another dog, we want it to be a Frenchie. So I was searching on Instagram, of course. After he got really sick and we found out how many problems he had, I reached out to somebody and she looked up the USDA records where my sweet dog came from. And some of the violations that she showed me were awful. What kind of place has the 150 adult dogs? I wanted to see for myself. It looked like a big, long barn, like a big white building, and all these dogs came out and started barking, and I thought I was going to be sick. And I drove home in tears. I cried all the way home.
A lot of breeders don't want people to come to their place. They don't want people to see the facility they actually have. So when you look at a place like puppies.com, they have these cute pictures of all the puppies, and they're on blankets and they're on pillows.
They show pictures of children playing with the dogs and testimonials, making it look like the dogs are part of their families.
Consists of myself, my husband, JP, and our kids, along with all our fur kids, of course.
But you don't see where the parents are. If you see the parents at all, they have been taken out of the kennel, out of the cages, and they're in a yard. Some of these breeders straight up lie and say, our dogs live in the house, or our dogs have acres to run on.
We follow a strict code of ethics for well-being of our dogs and puppies.
And in fact, the dogs live in an absolute puppy mill. My job for CAPS is to go online and to find out what these breeders say about the conditions they breed animals in. And then I go to their facilities and see how the dogs actually live. I've seen all kinds of facilities across the country. Big ones, small ones, a few dogs, an enormous amount of dogs, licensed, unlicensed, and I tend to see things are generally the same.
One of the breeders CAPS investigated was young Van Rokel in Texas, and during our investigation, there were 80 dogs, including miniature poodles, Bichon Frises, Pomeranians, Shih Tzus, Yorkies, and Maltese.
They said on the website their puppies lived in the house and that they had acres of land, as though the animals could just roam free. And of course, when I documented their property, I saw dozens of dogs living amongst their own filth in rows of pens.
Dogs were pacing in circles and running back and forth. These are behaviors that are commonly seen in puppy mill dogs because they are in small enclosures without any exercise. The floors were covered with days' worth of feces and urine. Many dogs had badly stained fur.
It was the quintessential puppy mill.
There are breeders who are USDA licensed that are also selling online. Facilities we've investigated, like Steve Cruzy in Iowa, Ed Van Dorn in Iowa, Melanie Moore in Missouri, and Amos Algier in Wisconsin. CAPS has also investigated unlicensed breeders who are selling over the internet. One of the facilities was a puppy mill belonging to Tom Grove.
A small breeder, you could even call him a hobby breeder. I saw Shelties that were in pens in below freezing temperatures, blocks of ice in their water dishes, no windbreaks in the dog houses, no blankets, no bedding, nothing. He told me that he taught his dogs to walk on a leash by dragging them until they figured out what to do.
I'm not going to mess around. I used a choke chain to start with. And when they got drug about 50 feet, they decided it was, time to follow me.
And he bragged to me about how he has shot puppies he couldn't sell.
I had 3 of them whelp within a week, and if I'd saved them all, there'd been 23 pups. I saved 15 out of those 3 litters. I got rid of half of them.
Yeah, you had to shoot the rest. Yeah.
His facility was so appalling. The dogs were clearly abused and mistreated. They were very, very scared.
Hey, knock it off!
We reported him to the sheriff's department, and he has subsequently been charged with animal cruelty.
He sold online to people across the country. Fortunately, he's been shut down and his dogs are all taken from him, but there's many others out there just like him.
And there are also some brokers who are involved in selling puppies online.
There were some things that weren't adding up. And he said, you know what, I'm just going to send your deposit back. And then when the refund came through, it came back as Select Puppies, Inc. I didn't buy a dog from Select Puppies, Inc. I bought it from LuckyPuppyCo.com.
Select Puppies is a large dog broker in West Point, Iowa. They bought out the Hunt Corporation, which had been the largest brokerage facility in the country and where CAPS's lead investigator worked undercover for 6 months. The facilities that we've investigated that sell to Select Puppies are definitely puppy mills. Some of them are licensed, some of them are unlicensed. Dogs are living in their own excrement, they're pacing, they're turning in circles, which are behaviors consistent with dogs that are kept confined. And dogs are often matted, dirty, in crowded confinement or very small runs. These are the types of facilities that sell to Select and other USDA licensed brokers that end up being sold online. Puppy Find, now called puppies.com, is the leading online marketplace. Other online sellers include Puppy Spot, Greenfield Puppies, Lancaster Puppies, and Next Day Pets. Craigslist and Recycler feature numerous puppy sellers. Facebook and Instagram also have an abundance of puppy sellers. There are also pet shops that are selling online. So people think maybe it's safer to buy a dog online from a pet shop because it's an established business. But these pet shops buy from the same puppy mills, from the same USDA licensed brokers that are also selling online. So whether you buy a dog directly from the breeder or through a pet shop, that dog most likely came from a puppy mill.
A couple of weeks had passed and she was still really scared of us. I mean, she didn't want to take food from us or anything. And I don't think she was used to being held. Honestly, I don't think she really learned how to cuddle with people. And we just thought we were getting a dog from a loving home. And I feel like we've been lied to.
Every puppy mill that I've been to claims they are a responsible breeder. Most of them have federal and state licenses. Many of them are AKC certified and inspected.
You're getting this cute puppy. Everyone's getting a puppy. And those mama dogs never get to leave that cage. It's legal for them to have 6 inches above their head and 6 inches past their tail, and they can live that way forever. I was horrified to find this out.
Puppies and kittens sold online come from mills. There's a reason they don't tell you where they're at. There's a reason they don't want you to visit. There's a reason that if they say you can come on out, they might meet you at the front door, but never in the back, or they want to meet you in a parking lot. However, there's an easy solution to this problem. The solution is adoption. We have hundreds of thousands of cats and dogs dying in shelters every year. If you adopt your next pet, you save a life.
And those animals will know that you did something wonderful for them. They understand that they have been rescued. If you're looking to add a dog or cat to your family, petfinder.com is a wonderful resource. Shelters oftentimes have purebred animals, they have small animals, they really need a home, and you don't want to support the puppy mill industry. You can go to petfinder.com and find a lovely dog or cat through a rescue or a shelter anywhere in the United States.
All you have to do to fight this problem is adopt and promote adoption. If you can't adopt, you can foster. If you can't foster, you can volunteer at a shelter. You can go to cats-web.org to learn more about what you can do to help out. Thank you for being part of the solution.